Will you seek and serve Christ in all persons, loving your neighbor as yourself, and respect the dignity of every human being? Episcopalians can almost respond instinctively, boldly exclaiming, "I will, with God's help." Whenever we celebrate and reaffirm the promise and gifts of baptism, we all reaffirm our baptismal covenant. It is this covenant that also frames the ministry and leadership we all share and serves as the very foundation of all that we do together, as well as individuals within the body of Christ. This year, I cannot think of a single person who has not been affected by the coronavirus. The pandemic continues to be a challenge to the body in every sense of the word, individually and collectively. None of us could have ever imagined a year like 2020 has been, and not just in terms of the impact to our ministry, but the impact on just about every aspect of life. One of the greatest challenges of the pandemic is that despite our best efforts, preparation, precautions, and protocols, the situation at hand changes and calls for even more actions, more cautions, more listening, more consideration, and yes, even more patience. I want to speak to you, our members, friends, and fellow ministers, because we are once again at a moment in the pandemic that is calling for more. Our diocese joins with the Diocese of Ohio in directing all congregations to do something more than any of our single set of plans, policies, and procedures, especially as we anticipate Christmas. We are directed to exercise even more care for one another and assume the highest level of caution and protocols in the weeks ahead. For us, that means that we need to assume the health and safety protocols associated with level 4, purple. This direction comes from the Church preemptively. Many of you are experiencing similar directives, whether from your employers, schools, or other organizations. There is a recognition that even though there are great advances in combating COVID and vaccines will soon be made available, it is darkest before the dawn. Medical resources are stretched all too thin for what is already an intense time of year outside of COVID. Our neighbors need us to do more and further reduce the risk of community spread. So starting Sunday, December 13th, all worship will remain available online, but all in-person worship will be suspended, and we will assume all protocols associated with level 4, with normal programming and school operations suspended and only essential workers on site. This directive takes us into January through at least January 10th. These actions match the extra precautions and protocols for St. Thomas Nursery School, and we are adjusting the start of their spring term back 1 week to now, January 11th. We all certainly hope that as we reevaluate the situation in January, we can return to the guidelines and resume our reopening process. But for now, it is clear we have to roll back that process and do more for the health and safety of all. I need to stress that this action is taken as the Episcopal Church in Ohio, unitedly. This is not a constitutional challenge. I'm reminded of what St. Paul writes in his first letter to the church in Corinth in chapter 6. All things are lawful for me, but not all things are beneficial. While 1 Corinthians remains a great source of comfort and beauty, Paul is writing to a church and community deeply divided in factions. We need to remember that as the body of Christ, we may disagree, but we need to stand united. This is part of seeking and serving Christ in all persons. We remain a worshiping community, just adapting to the context as we have throughout this health crisis. We still are anticipating Christmas with worship, devotionals, and opportunities to share our faith in service with our wider community. Special services, including Christmas, remain available online for you to enjoy and worship as a family devotional practice through our YouTube channel and website. This includes our service of lessons and carols, premiering this Sunday at 5 p.m. on YouTube. Later on, a family Christmas service and virtual Christmas pageant, as well as services for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Rite 1. As we have already made activity kits for our children and families, we would now like to do something similar for your household for our Christmas services. This Sunday, December 13th, from 9 a.m. to noon, as people drop off outreach items for the Stockings and Bells and Operation Hope, you can pick up a home devotional kit which will include candles and blessed wafers so that we can all share in Christmas communion together as you watch it. Just drive up to the church this Sunday the 13th from 9 a.m. to noon and pick up a kit for your household. Now, beyond Christmas, we continue to provide worship online via YouTube for both Sundays and our midweek evening prayer services. And the church itself will remain open for individual prayer Mondays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to noon, as well as Tuesdays and Thursdays in the afternoons from 3 to 5 p.m., except for Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, of course. Our parish office continues to have people available to answer the phone and continues to have limited staff on hand to coordinate essential ministry services, including pastoral care, on-call, and by appointment. For more information, please reach out to us. You can do so by mail at office@stthomasepiscopal.org or calling the parish office at our main number, 831-2052. Remember, we have a dedicated page within our website where you can find the latest updates and resources regarding St. Thomas and our response to COVID-19, as well as information on how you can support us, especially at this time. You can pledge and donate even directly online. If you haven't been receiving regular emails from the parish and would like to, please contact us through the website or call the parish office and leave a message so we can get back to you as quickly as possible. We apologize for the inevitable disruption and inconvenience that these measures are causing, and we anxiously await being able to have you join us in person and resume our regular parish schedule just as soon as it is possible. Until then, please be well, stay connected, and may God's peace and blessings be with you and your family this Christmas and beyond. I will see you online and back in person soon. Thank you.